Welcome back to my channel. It's freaking time. Today is the day. Today I'm starting my Shatter Me reread. I have been waiting so long for this. I got the book. I got my tabs. I got my two highlighters and my pen. We are ready to freaking do this thing. So this vlog is gonna be the first 3 books plus the first novella. So I'm starting this. Today is April 19th. I need to pretty much have this read in like a day and a half, but it shouldn't be no problem because this is like the shortest book of the series. I might be able to read this all in one go, but I'm going to be annotating and giving my thoughts throughout. And I'll show clips of me annotating, I'll show clips of me reading, and it's going to be a really fun time. And I will rate and review the book after I finish each one, and hopefully if I stay on track I should finish the Ignite Me on the 24th, and this will be uploaded on the 27th, which is my birthday. And yeah, there's not much else to say. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it because I'm so freaking excited, and I hope you stay along to watch the whole video. The way that Juliet talks about the raindrops, saying that like she's a raindrop because raindrops, like her parents emptied her out of their pockets and left her to evaporate on the concrete. I hate her parents so much. Okay, listen, I should have used a tab for sadness because I forgot how much this book makes me want to sob. Literally 24 pages in, and the quote is, "The world is flat." I know because I was tossed right off the edge and I've been trying to hold on for 17 years. I've been trying to climb back up for 17 years, but it's nearly impossible to beat gravity when no one is willing to give you a hand. When no one is willing to touch you. Julia, I want to give you a hug so bad. Some of the quotes in this book are just, they're so sad. Ugh, I can't. They're so sad. I guess the things that make me sad I'm just gonna highlight in gray because I didn't make a tab for it and I don't want to go back and add one, so I guess I'm just gonna highlight them in gray. So here is the day 1 of reading the Shatter Me series again. I read, what, 210 pages? I was supposed to read 280 to be on track, but I had to finish another book that I'll talk about in my monthly wrap-up, and I had read 200 pages of that, so I actually read 400 pages today, and I know that I was only 70 pages away, but my eyes are starting to get really, really tired, and I don't want to overdo it, so I am going to stop there. I am loving this book. I have a couple of things though, these aren't necessarily spoilers, but one, I forgot how sad this book is at times. 2, it's really hard to read this when I've already read the other books because my brain is connecting things from other books and I'm like, oh, was this setting it up? But I can't talk about those things with you because then there will be spoilers for the other books. So it's been like, I've been making notes in my book, but I can't make like notes to you guys. I can't make notes on Storygraph because they're like huge spoilers for the other books, but I'm like, oh my goodness, was she laying the groundwork for those events and this book? I made notes several different times about that. The other thing is, so everyone knows how much I love Warner, and I am in love with him, but I forgot how much you don't like him in this book. Like, in my head, he can do no wrong, but he does not look the best in this book, is all I'm gonna say. So it would kind of give me a little bit of whiplash to read him from the beginning, because I'm like, and I've been in love with him for so long that I kind of forgot how bad he was in the beginning. And I don't want to give spoilers necessarily, like right off the gate, but there is like, he does come off as like obsessive and like toxic masculinity, and he does come off a little bit stalkerish. I swear, guys, he is baby. He is actually baby. Just give him time and you will see it. But yes, this is the update on annotating. I don't know what way shows better. I have annotated quite a bit. I have about 130 pages left of this book. I do wish that I would have made a sad tab, because quite a bit has made me a little sad. And so I am going to go over what the book is about now that I have some of it like in my mind again. So this follows Juliet, and her touch is fatal. Like, when she touches someone, she can suck the life force out of them, and if she touches them for long enough, she can straight up kill them. And when she pretty much gets her power from touching other people. And she has been locked up into an asylum because her parents gave her up because she accidentally killed a little boy. And no one understands like where her power came from. No one understands like what her power really is. And her parents were just like, you know what, we don't even like, we just want her to be out of our lives. So she's been in this asylum for like over 200 days, and she randomly gets a roommate, and I won't go into any more on that. But the reestablishment, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, so do not listen to this part of the video if you don't want to know what the reestablishment is. Obviously, we learn more throughout the book, but I'm going to give a basic overview. If you don't want to know what this reestablishment is, you can just skip past this part. I'll put like a mark on it in the video so you know where to go. But the reestablishment is pretty much the government. There was like climate change happening, like animals were getting sick, birds were dying, the clouds were the wrong color, the like sun was being weird. So like in my head, like climate change, like they said that it would be like, it'd be winter, but it'd be like 92 degrees, and then it would be snowing during the summer. So like was just weird weather stuff. And the reestablishment happened because these people in power were like, oh, we know what to do to save the day. Like, you need to give us all the power over your lives and we'll save the day. And what actually ended up happening is that reestablishment seized the power, and they started banning books. They started like deleting languages. They essentially was like, oh, we need to erase everything that we have known, and we need a fresh start. We need to completely restart over again to cure the disease of the world. And essentially they just like decided to fuck everything, because they didn't actually save the day. They just made everything worse. So the reestablishment was like, they put them in like rectangular boxes. Like they have to live out of like these rectangular metal boxes, and essentially like all the livable land was divided up into sectors, and like they're run by different sectors are under different continents and stuff. And Juliet is in sector 45, and she quite literally has not seen the sun or anything like that in over 200 days. And that's the reestablishment. So pretty much just like an effed up government, if that sounds familiar. But it all started because like everyone was getting sick and they were dying, and they needed someone to help save the day, and the government was like, oh yeah, we'll save the day. And then they used it. They took advantage. I think that's the way that the author worded it, was like they took advantage of people's like desperation and ignorance, and they took advantage of it to like get what they wanted. So like everyone has to look the same. Everyone has to speak the same language. They all live in the same kinds of houses, and yeah. So that's the reestablishment. Juliet is only 17. That gives you like a little bit of an idea of like what she's going through, like at such a young age. And I think I only gave this book a 4-star when I read it the first time, and I think it is still around a 4-star. It's definitely not less, but I don't know if I would rate it higher. Because like I said, this book is really hard to read for someone who knows the rest of the story. And some of the scenes with like Adam, I'm like, can we just skip past this? Can we just get past this? That's the day one update. I do plan on reading this in 10 days. Like all the books in 10 days. Well, I guess technically 11 because it's the 19th and I'm finishing on the last day of the month. So I guess technically 11 days. You know what? Whatever. You know what I meant. But I'm really enjoying it. And I think that's all I have to say today. Good morning, everyone. It is the 20th. It's like 7:10 a.m. I'm gonna be really busy today, so I wanted to make sure that I fit in plenty of time to read. I have to go to work in like 2 hours, so we're gonna see if we can go ahead and finish this before I go to work. And yes, I'm in the exact same shirt as the last clip because I literally woke up. Like, I just woke up. Like, I wore this to bed. I just woke up, and I'm gonna shower in a little bit. I have 130 pages left of this. We are gonna see if I can just go ahead and knock this out, and then I'm going to work and take a shower, and then I'll come back to review it, and then we'll start the second book like immediately after I review this one because we are on a bit of a time crunch. It is Easter Sunday. I'm not really celebrating much this year, but I do have something planned that I have to make time for, and I am working. And I do have to clean. I have a lot to do, and the mental checklist. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Okay, it is 8:30 and I just finished the book. So it took me about an hour and a half to read 130 pages. I am gonna give this 4 stars still because I feel the exact way I felt when I read it the first time, which is a good thing. It still was a very good book, but I don't feel like it improved my second time around, so I'm not gonna give it a higher rating. I do have lots of thoughts and feelings, so I am going to be talking about things that happen in this book. So if you haven't read this book and you plan on reading it, I would go ahead and just skip to the next part of the video because I am going to be talking about things that happen in this book in detail because I do have some thoughts and feelings. The first thing that I want to talk about is the strike-through lines. So the author has, in the very first part of the book, she has like a page saying that the strike-throughs were intentional because it was supposed to represent Juliet's mind. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I personally love it. I love being able to see Juliet's thoughts, but I love to see how they decrease throughout the book because it's a sign of her healing and her trusting herself and her not feeling so like crazy because in the front of the book, like, they were happening so much because, like, she had so much chaos in her mind and she was, like, repeating her words because of the chaos in her head. And as she, like, you know, gets free of the asylum and she's with Adam and she's with Kenji, she starts to do that less and less. And we even see that progress in the other books. I really took note of, like, I had tabs for, like, the mind stuff, and the front of the book has a lot more of them than the end of the book does. Like, the end of them, I think I have, like, maybe 2 or 3, and I just love the fact that Juliet slowly started to heal from the things that happened to her. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that the author uses Adam being able to touch her as this big sign of that they're, like, meant to be together. Like, oh my goodness, like, she hasn't been able to touch anyone in 17 years and she finally met a man that can touch her. Clearly they're soulmates. And I remember when I read this the first time, I was thinking that. I was like, oh my goodness, he can touch her and they have the bird tattoo. They're totally meant to be. And then you, like, get to the end of the book and you're like, actually, he's not even the only one that can touch her. So clearly they're not actually soulmates. Like, the fact that he can touch her has nothing to do with the fact that they're in love. but something else. So I feel like the author did a good job of like building that potential romance, but then also making it to be the point where it's like, oh, actually, like what you thought wasn't actually why it was happening. So she now has at least 2 people that can touch her, and it can't be because of love. And that kind of like shatters, pun intended, the whole like mirage of, since Adam can touch her, like they must be in love. And I feel like that's why she kind of falls in love with him, is because he's the first one that's ever been able to touch her. And I feel like since she's been so deprived of love, she kind of just latched on, literally, to the first man that could touch her. And I don't like Adam because of reasons that we find out. But I also don't like Adam in this book because when they first like get with Kenji, like meet up with Kenji's making a lot of passes at Juliet, like flirting with her and like calling her hot and sexy. And Adam does get like upset, but he never one time says, hey, that's my girl, or hey, that's my girlfriend. Like, even if they weren't labeling it, you would have thought that Adam would have been like, hey man, knock it off, like we're talking, you know, like that's my girl, like we have feelings for each other. He never does that. And Kenji even later on in the book says, why didn't you ever tell me? Like I wouldn't have been making so many passes at her if I knew that she was with someone. And he's like, oh, well, me and Juliet hadn't labeled it yet. I feel like even without the label, I feel like if you're in love with someone, you could have pulled that person aside and been like, hey man, like I'm really in love with her. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I feel like he was trying to love Juliet so quietly, and I don't like that. I don't like when men love women quietly. I like men that love women loudly, like own that shit, like announce to the world that is your woman. And Adam wasn't doing that. Like, Adam didn't even really do it when they got to Mega Point. Like, he asked for privacy, but he really wasn't like, oh yeah, like this is my girl. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the way that Adam tries to like hide Juliet from other people. I also feel like Adam doesn't, so I feel like Adam loves Juliet, the version of her that like that isn't powerful. Like I feel like he loves like the so-called normal version of Juliet, and I feel like when she actually uses her power, he's just kind of like turned off from her. And that's another reason why I don't like him, because I feel like he's not liking Juliet for who she really is. I feel like he's liking a version of Juliet in his mind, and I don't know. Like, I remember when I read this the first time, I was totally team Adam, and now that I'm reading it the second time, I'm picking up on the things that I didn't notice the first time, where I'm like, holy cow, this man was never meant for her. Like, man needs to pack it up because he sucks. I also really took note of the fact that she constantly talks about remembering him and remembering him and remembering him, and then like it took her so long to remember why she remembered him. And she said it's only been 3 years since she last saw him, and I didn't really understand how within 3 years she just like couldn't place knowing him. But then later on in the book she's like, oh, I can never forget you. And I'm like, I think you did. I think you did. I think you did. Not like forget him, like as in she didn't know him at all. But she kept being like, oh, I've seen those eyes before, like I remember him. But she couldn't even like fully remember him. But then she tells him to his face, like, oh, I could never forget you. And it's like, babe, you definitely at least forgot him enough to not be able to immediately recognize him. So girl, you're a liar. Like, I don't know. So I'm giving this 4 stars. It is what kicked my love off for this series. I don't know, I could talk more and more about some of the things that happened in this book, but I do just want to say that rereading this, it feels so weird that James, who is 10 years old in this book, now has his own story that just came out in this month where he's an adult, and I'm gonna feel so weird reading that because the James that I have in my mind is this 10-year-old James, like this young little boy, and I don't know how I'm gonna react to reading him as an adult, so we'll see how that goes. But this is how much I annotated. I don't know if you can see it that good. I didn't annotate a whole lot. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot to annotate in this one, but it was good. It was really good. I think Pussycat is gonna hate how much romance it feels like there's in this, but it's like a really good story, so I hope the Pussycat continues with it, because my friend Pussycat doesn't love romances, but I did warn her, and she said that when she's warned, she's fine with it. She just doesn't like it when she's not warned and she can't like prepare herself, but I did tell her, I was like, it is a YA romance, but like the story does like take the center usually. So I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna go shower now, and I'm gonna finish up work, and then I'll be back. Well, I'll be back in a couple of hours, but for you guys, it'll be like next clip. And then we're gonna start the second book together. And yeah, it's Easter. I'm gonna try to have a good day. So that's it for this clip. Okay, so it is like 2:30. I just got done with Easter with my boyfriend's family. It was delicious. It was so much fun. Got my cute little Winnie the Pooh shirt on. I'm changing the plan just a little bit. So the first time I read this series, I read the novellas in between book 2 and 3, and then book 4 and 5, like after book 5. And then obviously the last one comes after the 6th book. But I actually saw a TikTok today that was like, you should try reading them, like because it's a novella with 2 different stories. It said that you should try reading one novella, like one story in between book 1 and 2, and then the second story after the end of book 2, and I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm actually gonna read, before we get into Unravel Me, I'm gonna read the very first story in the novella. It's like 100 pages, so I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna read 50 pages of this for the day, and then I'll be done. So I'm only, like, I have these 2 tabs. This top color is for Warner. And I don't know if I'll even have anything to highlight, but if I do, go there. And then for Unravel Me, just as a little reminder, these are my tabs. And I am using a pink highlighter, a blue highlighter, a pink pen, and a purple pen. And that's going to be my reading for today. I'm pretty excited. So let's just go ahead and get in this. The first novella is from Warner's point of view of when Juliet leaves him. Okay, so it's like 4:45 and I just finished this. It took me quite a while because I got really sleepy, so I took a nap. And they were so right. It does hit differently when you jump from the ending of book 1 straight into this novella story, like the first novella story with Warner. Because I feel like it gives you your first insight onto how he's not actually a bad person. He's actually, he grew up very similar to Juliet. Like his parents abused him, like his dad pretty much. It was just his dad. But his dad abused him. His dad, you know, made him feel horrible. And reading this, I feel like, is the first time that you actually sit down and think to yourself, like, oh, maybe he's not the bad guy that we thought he was. So when people don't read these novella, like this novella, I feel like they're missing some key parts to Warner's story, because there's quite a bit that we learn about Warner in this novella, and I'm going to talk about that. So spoilers, like if you don't want to know, or like if you don't plan on reading the novellas, you can listen. But we learn that he pretty much has OCD. Oh, he doesn't say that directly, but he says that he is obsessed with being clean, that he showers like multiple times a day. He like has to wash his hands constantly, that he like has to have clean clothes on. Like he is very obsessed with being clean because he says that like it's the one thing that he can control in his life. We also learn that he like the reason why he is so in love with Juliet is because once he sees her for who she is and he isn't scared of what she is. She's like the first person that challenged him, and they're both like In this novella, he reads Juliet's journal, which I don't say is the greatest thing, because that's kind of an invasion of privacy, but it does serve a purpose. When he's reading through Juliet's journal, and he starts seeing, like, how her parents treated her, he's like, I'm seeing so much of myself that I'm becoming, I feel like, mirrored. And we learn that he, like, the simulation room that he put Juliet in, he goes into it himself, and in the simulation, it's literally just a duplicate of himself with a gun, and he shoots himself. And that is so heartbreaking to me, that, like, his simulation, like, is pretty much him killing himself. I think the biggest thing that we learn about Warner in this novella is that he goes and visits the civilians, because we learn that the reason why they live in those rectangular storage containers was because of it was his idea, but he explains that it was a temporary idea. Like, it was just when the reestablishment started happening, like, they needed a way to have people be all in one spot, and he proposed a temporary idea to take these shipping containers and stack them on top of each other and pretty much make them into homes. And he admits that they never stopped. Like, they were like, oh, this is so effective, we don't have to change this. And the people are still told that they're gonna one day move, but he even says, like, the reestablishment has no plans to move them. And that he feels as caged as they do, and that's why he comes and visits them, because it's like almost like escaping one prison from another, because even in his own mind, he's a traitor and he feels like a coward. So I feel like you get to see the fact that he's not actually for the reestablishment. Like, he's against it. And he feels like he's stuck and he doesn't know how to become the good guy. And we also learn that he didn't want Juliet to be a weapon. He didn't. That was never his intention. He did not seek her out to be a weapon. He saw her out because he wanted her to know that she wasn't alone in the world, and that there was someone out there that wouldn't be afraid of her. And I don't know. But I do think it's so funny that we learn his height in this book, and everyone's like, oh, short king, short king. He's 5'9". I really don't think that's a short king in my mind. Like, I know men are, like, typically taller, and maybe for bookmen he's short, but it's so funny. Like, I always see people being like, oh, he's not my type because he's so short. And I'm like, what is your definition of short? Because he's taller than me. Like, if I had Warner next to me, he'd probably be, like, at least 3 inches taller than me. So in my head, he's not a short king because he's taller than me. But I think people, like, are wanting, like, 6 foot up. Like, there's some book characters that are, like, 7 feet tall. That's just insane to me. But, yeah, I feel like this novella is really, really, really freaking key to understanding Warner and the reasons why he acts the way that he acts in the first book. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying the things that he did were great or romantic, but we do get to see why he acts the way that he does, and we do get to see the fact that he wants to be better, and he's not even, like, just cleanliness. We learn that he's obsessed with baths, and I love the fact that the novella ends with him getting a dog. That is so wholesome. That's so wholesome. Is he goes to visit the civilians and he gets a stray dog that he plays with, and it's so cute. It's so cute. And so yeah, that is the first novella, and I really hope that people will read this when they embark on their Shatter Me journey. So I don't think that all of them are important, but I definitely think that this one, which it's called Destroy Me, it's in the Unite Me book, but the actual novella is called Destroy Me. This is how much I tabbed for, like, a 100-page book. Like, I tabbed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I tabbed 12 different things in a 100-page book. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I kind of rambled about this. I'm going to be starting the second one right now. I'm not going to get very far into this one just because I've already read so much today. I finished the first one, I finished this one, and this will put me at my goal of 286 pages a day. So I'm going to read 52 pages because that's chapter 7. And I'm going to be highlighting as I go. And this book is chunky. The first book was like 330 pages, and this one I think is like 460. So this will take me quite some time to get through. But hopefully I should be finishing this on Tuesday. Okay, so I just got done reading the 50 pages of this, and so far so well. I've annotated a few things so far. Not much I can say on this because I'm only 50 pages in, 7 chapters, so not a lot has unfolded, but tomorrow I'm probably going to be reading until chapter 55, so I can give more of an update on this tomorrow. I'm really excited to talk through this with you guys. I think from like moving forward there probably will be spoiler talk, just because I feel like I can't talk about the books without talking about what's happening, kind of, and I can't talk about what's happening if you haven't, like, if you care about spoilers. So I will say, like, for the rest of my video, I would say be prepared for like slight spoilers. I won't give anything huge away, like I won't be like blah 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 blah, but I will talk about like some of the plot points that are happening that don't reveal too much. I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we will probably get through like 60% of this book. Bye for now. I don't have any clips of me filming while reading today because I was at work for most of the time that I was reading, but I did get to my goal. I got to chapter 55, 345 pages in, so I only have like this much left. We'll definitely be finishing tomorrow. This is the update on the annotating. I don't know the best way of showing annotations, but we definitely got some pretty colors going on. I think when I read this the first time, I gave it 4 stars. I definitely think it's sitting at like a 4.5. It's hitting a lot differently than when I first read it because of the political climate that we're in. I was like, I don't know, it just feels different this time. When I read this for the first time, I was like 21, so I could relate to Juliet a lot more, and now I actually relate to Warren more because I'm closer in age with him. And I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, if I was trying to read this for the first time, like right now, I wouldn't be able to, because it feels too much like real life. Like, it doesn't even feel like a fantasy. It literally feels like someone is writing about a alternate universe of our world, just like, but it's happening. It's like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like it's like parallel universes happening. She talks so much about like love and like wanting to see the world, but like from a teenage lens, and I have a hard time seeing the same things that she does because I'm much older now. But I think it's a good thing because I've already established my love for the characters, so I can read this with no problem. But if I was trying to read this for the first time, I'd be like, there'd be almost like a bit of an age disconnect between us. I'm really enjoying it. I have annotated quite a bit, and there was a lot of quotes this time around that are hitting so close to my heart. And I am going to talk about spoilers a little bit, slight spoilers from here on out for the book. But one of the things that hit the most was when she is talking with Warner about his tattoos, and he shows her his tattoos of like, you know, the tattoo he has on his back. And I don't want to like talk about what it is specifically because it's like a huge reveal moment, but he's talking about how like books can be destroyed but words live on, and how that's why he feels about tattoos, because like tattoos, they're on his body for good. They can't be taken from him unless he's like dead, you know. But that had so much meaning, and I was like, oh my goodness. And there were just so many things I picked up this time around that I was like, I definitely missed the first time. And I do want to say that in my pre-ranking of characters, I could not remember who Winston was, and now I remember that I just don't remember him because I don't like him. He had a couple things in the first book that I kind of felt were like problematic, and in this book Juliet calls him a genius, and I literally was like, yeah, he might be a genius, but he's also an asshole. Like, I just do not like his character at all. And I literally was giggling, kicking my feet, because for like the first 200 pages, like, Warner is not in this because he's literally, you know, he is with the reestablishment, and Juliet is at Omega Point, which is where all the people with talents are. But when Warner gets put back into the book, I was like, yay, because it's like when you get to really see who he is, like Juliet is seeing him for who she is. And there's that whole line where she's like, oh my god, I'm horrifically attracted to him, and I was like, me too, baby girl, me too. So I just love seeing Juliet finally admitting that she does have the hots for him. I love it, and I just, I don't really have any critiques, honestly. I think I'm actually enjoying this more the second time around because I already know how much I love Warner. When I was reading this first time around, I wasn't totally sold on Warner now, but like I wasn't originally sold on Warner all the way. But now that I'm reading it for the second time, and I'm like, he's my baby. I'm like, anything that he says, I'm like underlining, hearting. Ugh. And Adam in this book kills me because this is spoilers. This is like, if you were listening for slight spoilers, this is a spoilers. He has the ability to disable people's powers, but he only does it when he's afraid or like angry or like when he feels like he's in danger. So he can't always be touching Juliet. Like sometimes he even admitted like sometimes when they were touching he felt pain. So Juliet was like, okay, well, like if you're not immune to me, then we can't be together, which I think is a very valid thing. Like she's essentially being like, I do like you, but I don't want to kill you by accident one day. Totally valid, very like selfless decision. And he's so mad at her. He's like, why can't we be together? You broke my heart. And it's like, girly, I mean guy, I guess I should be calling him a guy, like dude, like she's literally trying to protect you. Like you're like, if you took your walls down one day, like you weren't paying attention, she could straight up kill you. And Julie's just saying like, oh, it's not worth it. Like it's not worth it to be in a relationship where we can't actually touch all the time. Like we would be thinking that we were playing it safe, and then one day I would just kill you. Like I think the way that Juliet feels is totally valid. And I don't want to say that the way that Adam feels isn't valid, but it's different because like I feel like he is so angry at her for wanting to protect him, and I just feel like he's a little too aggressive towards her. And once again, I feel like he doesn't actually like her for who she really is. I think he kind of despises the fact that she has this power, because if she didn't have this power, they could be together. That's kind of the vibes I've been getting from him. And she's just trying to figure out, what her powers are and like how to control them. And he's just being a jerkwad, honestly. I'll definitely be finishing this tomorrow, and then I'm gonna read the second story in the novella, and then we'll finally start Ignite Me, and then we'll be done with this vlog. I'm very, very excited. I didn't even say the date, I don't think, or the time. It is the 21st. I read this throughout work, so I think I started at like 9 a.m. and I just finished at like 4:30. Like, it took me a while to read 286 pages because I was actually working. But yeah, she's pretty. She's fine. I'm actually running out of the pink tabs. I need to get some more. I just also like to think about it is I think the reason why Warner and Juliet fit so well together is because they actually understand each other. And I feel like Adam doesn't understand Juliet the same way. That's all I'm going to say. That's why Warner is always going to be the top dog. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to be harping on Adam too much, even though I am the Adam Hate Club founder. But boy be getting on my nerves. I finished Unravel Me today, and no clips of me reading that because I was at work, and no clips of me reading FOR Me because I was streaming. But I'm about to start Ignite Me, and I'll have clips for that. I did already say my piece on this in the last clip, so I'm gonna give this like a 4.25. I enjoyed it more the second time around, and I annotated the hell out of it. I had so much fun annotating it this time, and I just love seeing the first little crumbs of Juliet realizing that she's in love with Warner. I loved it. I have quite a bit to say about this one because the second novella is pretty much Adam's point of view of the things that are happening at the end of Unravel Me, and I'm literally going to give it a 1 star because I can't stand him. This novella is pretty much him biatching and whining about how no one's as good as him. Like, he's like, oh, Juliet is so weak. He literally at one point calls her handicapped. The woman that he's supposedly in love with, he literally calls her handicapped, and the wink link, and how she's gonna get all of them killed. She pretty much doubts her powers, and he's like, why doesn't want to listen to me? Like, she should just be left behind. The audacity of a man. I can't even. And then he starts harping on Kenji about how, like, Kenji he's too sensitive, he doesn't have a strong enough stomach, and he's not one of them because of that. And I'm like, one of who? People just trying to survive the freaking end of the world? like, this man had like a complexity of like a superiority complexity, because this man was just like, everyone's not as good as me, everyone needs to get on my level or they need to be left behind. And then, slight spoilers, kind of massive spoilers for Unravel Me, at the end of Unravel Me, Julia gets shot. She's not dead, she gets saved, but they don't know that. And Adam pretty much chooses to leave her behind because he wants to go back to save James. And it's just like so crazy to me that you're like so in love with this girl, but then you say all of this, and then you know that she's captured and being possibly tortured, and you're just like, oh yeah, let's go save my brother. Okay, I know it's a hard decision there, but the way that he was just so like, even when Kenji brought up like, you know she's being tortured, let's go, and he's like, do we have to? And it's like, I hate him. Literally, like, this is both novellas put into one. I rated them separately on Storygraph. So individually, I gave the first one a 5-star because of Aaron. I love him. And then the second novella, I'm gonna give a 1-star. So I'm gonna give this overall like a 3.5. It's not good enough to be a 4. Because I really, really enjoyed the first one, but I cannot stand Adam. And this second novella justifies my reasons for not liking Adam, because this man does not deserve Juliet. Doesn't ever deserve Juliet. Doesn't deserve friendship. Doesn't deserve happiness. I literally cannot stand him. If he would die at some point, I'd be fine with that. I'm an Adam hater. Yeah, at one point, he literally says, like, Kenji literally says, let's go get our girl back. He goes, that's my girl. And Kenji's like, minus the part where she's not actually your girl anymore. And Adam's like, whatever, shut up. Like, you are literally broken up. Why are you being so possessive and obsessive over her? And he even has the audacity to be like, oh, she's so obsessed with Warner. Okay, you're so obsessed with her. Move on. You guys have been broken up. It's time to... You don't even actually act like you care. I don't understand him. And this novella is really where it all began. Like, my hatred for him the first time around. And now that I'm rereading it, I'm like, yeah. The novella it turns everything against him. Like, the way he talks about people at the Omega Point, and he's pretty much like, at one point he's even like, I wish I never came here, like, I'm so glad that we're going home. Like, I don't know, it's like he doesn't care about anyone but himself, and I hate it truly. Anyways, we're gonna read Ignite Me. I'm gonna start that in the next clip, and it's gonna be a great time. But I have to admit that I did kind of mess up. I did originally plan to read the birthday scene on Aaron Warner's birthday, but I messed up. I thought it was in the 3rd book, but it's actually in the 5th book, and there's no way I can get to the 5th book in 2 days. But the good news is that does mean that I will be reading the birthday scene on my actual birthday. So not the original plan, but still a good alternative. So I'm sorry that I messed up the math, because I'm not good at math. What can I say? But yeah, I'll read the birthday scene on my actual birthday. Me and Warner will just be birthday besties together, but I will like celebrate his birthday on his actual birthday. I screwed up the math, honestly, and I thought it was in the wrong book, and I'm a mess. So as you can see from the clips, I'm going through all the emotions. I'm gasping, I'm giggling, I'm feeling sad. I got to like 80 pages of this book, and God, it's already having me in my emotions. Like, I love this book. It's my favorite book in the series. It's probably my favorite book ever. I don't know what it is. It's just, ugh, I eat, sleep, breathe this book. I wish I could get the pages of it tattooed on my eyelids. And I'm only 80 pages in, and already so much has happened, and there's been so many moments with Warner I love. And like, this is how much I've already tabbed. Like, and we got the pretty tabs going on. We got the lots of tabs. So this is gonna be stunning once I'm done. Thoughts and feelings, other than what I just said, is that this is a lot more sad than I remembered it being. Obviously it's a dystopian book, but I honestly do not remember feeling so sad the first time I read this. Maybe it's because it's been like 2 years and I like erased those parts of it, but I have genuinely been like sad so much of this series already. I just love this cover, and everything's been great because there's like barely been any mentions of Adam so far. I'm an Adam hater, what can I say? This is not like a spoiler because it's like the very, like, it's before the book starts, but it says, I am no longer afraid of fear and I will not let it roll me. Feel will learn to fear me. This is the book where Juliet learns to not be a whiny, crying baby and to actually learn how to use her powers so that she can do good with them. It's time to stop groveling and feeling bad for yourself. Like, you have a talent. You literally have a gift. Like, you could literally tear down the reestablishment and all you want to do is cry in bed. Like, finally she's gonna like get out of that and she's finally gonna do something with herself, and I'm so excited for it. I'm not looking forward to the 4th book or the 5th book because they're just like a fever dream. They literally make me feel like I'm on drugs. So I'm not, those are the books I've been least looking forward to, but maybe they'll be different. Like, maybe I'll feel less, I'll hate them less. I don't hate them, I don't hate any of the books, but they're definitely my lowest rated of the series, and I'm curious to see how I feel about them on a reread. I guess we're gonna find out shortly. But I didn't even tell you the day of the time again. Oh my god, I've been so bad at this, but it is the 22nd. I just finished reading at almost 8 p.m. I started at like 5 o'clock, so it took me about 3 hours to read 86 pages because I'm also still streaming. I've been streaming, guys, and I really love it. And I had a whole tangent with Piece of Cat about Shatter Me. Because Piece of Cat is actually not loving it because she thinks that Juliet is a whiny baby, which I can't even say she's wrong. Juliet is a whiny baby, but she's also 17 and she also has mental problems, and she's also been isolated for a lot of her life, so she's not gonna act the way that we want her to act because she doesn't know better. Like, we have to give her the chance to like actually grow up. Like, we have to give her a chance to actually heal so that she can be a good person, because like right now, like in the previous books, we're only seeing her like her first introductions back into society. Like, of course she's not gonna act the way that we want because she has no idea how to act. Yeah, she's 17, we have to remember that. She is going through a lot, and yes, that's all I have to say. I love Warner. That's all I have to say. All you need to know. I want to get this tattooed, honestly. I'm in a yapping mood, I'm so sorry. I want to get this eye with the flowers literally tattooed on me one day. This is how much I love this book. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking for the night. I will see you guys tomorrow to make some more progress in this wonderful book. So I'll see you then. Bye for now. Okay, hi everyone. Today is the 22nd. It is like 4:30. I am just getting done with work and I'm gonna go ahead and pick this back up. I did the math, and where I'm supposed to stop reading with my average 286, it only have like 30 pages left. So I'm just gonna finish this tonight if I can. I have a lot to get into when I do finish this because I've made notes of things that I need to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this because I do have a friend coming over, so I want to make sure that I have time to read. I think I have like, I already read a little bit this morning, so I think I have like 186 pages to get through. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this, stop yapping, and we're gonna go ahead and go into the clips of me reading this because it's gonna be a journey, I tell ya. I finished Ignite Me. This book is everything to me. It is, of course, a 5-star. If I could give this 6 stars, I would. This book just, it's, nothing else in the series beats it for me. It's so good, and I have lots to discuss. This is the final annotating progress of it all. I don't know the best way to show annotations, but I annotated quite a bit. I have a lot to discuss, and I'm hoping that I can remember everything because I obviously read this within 2 days, and I have a lot of things on my brain. The first thing is that on my reread, I noticed that the author dropped something in the first book that I was like, oh god, that you now understand in this third book. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be spoilers. Spoilers, 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 spoilers for this entire book. In the very first book, the first time, one of the few first times that Juliet is talking to Warner, she says, "Your poor mom," to him. And he has like the strangest reaction. Like he literally stops what he's doing and he looks almost sad. He's like, what? Like, why did you say that? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, I just meant like your poor mom for having to deal with you. But now that I know about his mom, when I read the second time around, I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder he acted that way, because he thought that she knew about his mom, because we find out in this book that his mom is like sick. His mom is like Juliet, but different. Like Juliet touches people and dies. If she gets touched by people, like she's like in excruciating pain. Like she can't even touch herself. Like even if she makes contact with her skin, she's in so much pain. So she's like lays in bed and stares at the ceiling, or she has to be constantly drugged. And in this book, she dies, and it's literally heart-wrenching because Juliet goes into the room and finds Warner like sobbing, crying, and she comforts him. And I got so emotional multiple times in the book. So that's the first thing I want to talk about, was that fact that like she said that your poor mom, and we didn't realize this, like it really was his poor mom. We had no idea. The second thing is that I can't stand Adam even more. In this book, he literally tells Juliet to drop dead. Yeah, you heard me right. He literally tells her to drop dead. He gets so mad at her because she's like, he's like, you cheated on me. Oh my god. But I hate him. But I did want to say that I did really appreciate how in this book, Juliet starts to come to terms with the fact that she never actually really loved Adam, that it was like she fell in love with him by default because he could touch her. And we find out later in the book that she actually can turn her power off. And one of my favorite moments of the book is she goes up to Kenji and she says, you know what this means? And he's like, what does it mean? And she goes, this means I can pick who I fall in love with. It won't be by default. It won't because they can just touch me. It's gonna be who I want. I love that. I love it. And I also love just like the declarations of love between her and Warner. Kenji is so funny in this book. James is so brave and so young. I love how he was asking Warner so many questions, and Warner was being the big brother without even realizing that he was being a big brother, because they are brothers. Like, I don't think I mentioned that in one of the other clips, but we find out that their dad, the Supreme Commander, is both Warner's dad and Adam and James's dad. Like, he was two-time and had two separate lives. And we find out that they are brothers, and they find out, like, they tell each other that they're brothers in this book. And it does kind of change the relationship to the point where they're like, oh, we can't hate each other because now we're brothers. And, you know, now that Warner's mom is dead, he really needs someone to be in his life. So he's, like, gonna give him a chance. I don't know. Everything about this book is perfection to me. I have literally no criticisms. Maybe I wish it was longer, but there's so many good moments. And, like, it's a YA book, so it's like fade to black, but I just love how loudly that he loves her. And you get like to know more about his tattoos, and I literally cry at the scene where he's talking about like his scars and how they were birthday gifts from his dad. But there is something that I'm gonna note in this clip and come back to in the future. So Adam confronts Juliet, and pretty much when he says that she's cheating, he says, this kind of shit doesn't just happen overnight. You just don't fall out of love with someone like that and then fall in love with someone. I'm not even going to give context into why. I'm going to talk about that later. I'm just going to leave it there. But I love, because in the scene she goes, be careful how you speak to me, Adam. I won't tolerate your insults again. she's pretty much putting her foot down to be like, yeah, we're broken up, and I let you, like, I'm not gonna let you talk to me like this, because there was a whole scene where she's like, if he loved me, he wouldn't have treated me like this. And you're so right, girly. If you love someone and they love you, they should never be mean to you. And he was mean. He was aggressive. And she definitely figured out that, like, he definitely loved, like, the schoolgirl image of her, and that's not who she is anymore. So many messages in this book that I just... Oh, we have to talk about the fact that Juliet is just gonna become the new commander. She's like, they're like, who's gonna take his place? And she's like, I am. She's like, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like, I am the perfect person for this position. And I'm just like, gagged. Oh, also, one of my favorite moments is Adam tells her that he figured out that he can turn his powers off. And so he goes up and grabs her. And it's like, this is proof that we could be together. And Miss Girly Pop says, this is only proof that you're so good at turning me off. Gagged. Juliet. Oh my goodness, guys. I wish that I could reread this for the first time. I wish I could just write my memory of this book every time that I read it and just read it over and over again for the very first time. It's so, so special to me. There's so many good moments. There's so much character development. There's so much that happens. You just start, like, the way that you feel about characters starts to change a little bit, and this is like the pinnacle for me. Like, the series goes downhill from this. Like, 4, 5, and 6, nothing compares to this book for me. Like, the series could have just ended to me right here. Literally could have just ended for me. And I would have been happy. It does continue, unfortunately. I don't love book 4 and 5. I'm really dreading them, but I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read them. Oh, I found the spot that I was talking about. She says, this isn't about Adam or Warner. This is about me and what I want. This is about me finally understanding where I want to be in 10 years, because I'm going to be alive, Kenji. I will be alive in 10 years, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be strong, and I don't need anyone to tell me that anymore. I'm enough, and I always will be. Girl recognizes her self-worth finally. She finally realizes that she don't need no man to make her feel powerful. She is powerful. She is so strong. She's pretty much invincible because of her powers. Like, I'm so glad that I'm gonna be out of this whiny, scared, ignorant phase. Like, I'm so glad that she's finally gonna be a baddie. I'm so ready for it. But I wasn't supposed to finish this until tomorrow, but I just could not put it down, so I went ahead and finished it. And now we're gonna get into the Fever Dream, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me because I can't do it alone. I can't go through book 4 and 5 alone. So that is it for this vlog. This is it. I was only reading these first couple of books, and I reviewed this right. I did tell you I was gonna give it 5 stars. Yes. And I am gonna be reading books 4 through, well, technically book 5 because of the novella, but book 4 through whatever in the next vlog. But that vlog will not be posted until middle of May because I have so much else that needs to come out. Like, I have next week I have a birthday vlog that also has a bookshelf tour, and then the week after that I start moving with Pride content. So the second vlog is coming. I think it's gonna be maybe 3rd week of May. So please forgive me. Like, I'm reading it in April, but you just won't get it until May, just because things are taking more priority. But I'm really excited for my birthday. I'm really excited to go book shopping. I'm really excited to take you guys along with that weekend. I'm gonna do a vlog for the weekend. I'm gonna show all the books that I get. I'm just so excited for my birthday. I feel like it's gonna be a really, really good birthday. But that's it. That's all for this video. That's all for the book. Mwah! Let's everyone give some love to Warner. Also, I'm just gonna say that, I'm gonna be celebrating Warner's birthday tomorrow, but you guys won't see the clip until middle of May. You're gonna be like, just go with it. Just go with it, guys. Anyways, this is it. I'm in a yapping mood. I could yap all night to you guys, but thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed and you would like to, please feel free to subscribe. Please give this video a like, and for an emoji to comment, maybe do, I don't know, maybe do anything green. Do a green emoji. Any green emoji that you please, because this cover is green. But thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast doing this with you guys, and I will see you next Sunday. And everyone, wish me happy early birthday. Actually, when this video comes out, it is my birthday. So I expect all the comments to be like, happy birthday, May, happy birthday, May, because it will be my birthday when this comes out. And if you're watching this on Sunday, like you should be, hopefully, you should be watching this when it comes out, you better be like, happy birthday, May, with a green emoji. If you're watching this after the 27th, then you don't have to tell me happy birthday. But do the green emoji. I'm getting so sassy on YouTube. I've had to filter myself a little bit. I've cussed so much this video that I'm gonna have to edit out. Like, I'm just on something this week. I gotta go. I can't keep talking. I can't keep talking. Seriously, guys, bye for now. Bye-bye. I have to end this. Bye.